wondering what I'm doing here on the floor, I'm liking it. Are you liking it? I like it a lot. I just really felt like I wanted to pick up on your energy a little bit more. When I was up on the stage, I wasn't feeling it. I like to get that good energy. So this weekend, I found myself kind of caught between two worlds. My newfound Canadian world and my American world. Because both worlds are celebrating uber patriotic holidays. You got Canada Day on Friday, you got Independence Day tomorrow. My Facebook feed, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but my Facebook feed has been awash all weekend, either with Happy Canada Day stuff or Happy 4th of July stuff. And I'm kind of in the middle, and I'm wondering which one should I celebrate? And of course the answer is, oh, yes, we like parties. But it did get me to thinking about how I could tie in the two holidays into one talk. Because Canada Day is all about the formation of the country of Canada with the coming together of several different sections. I think it was Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and the rest of it. Am I about right? Yeah. A little bit close? Okay, so it's about coming together, right? And Independence Day is about America breaking away and declaring its independence from British rule. So at first blush, they're not really very compatible. One's about unity and coming together, and the other one's about breaking away and independence. They are seeming opposites. Or are they? In our teaching, we absolutely encourage both unity, recognizing our oneness with all of life and with the great wholeness of life, and independence, being that unique expression of that life. So although unity and independence appear to be opposites, they're actually very complementary to one another spiritually. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How being part of something greater than our individual selves actually enhances our expression of our unique selves. Does that make sense? How being part of something greater allows us to more fully express our individual. Just like Lucille's reading today. And you know, I love Ernest Holmes. I was having such a kick the other day. I was talking to somebody who had seen one of the videos of a talk, and he said, yeah, I like that you quoted Ernest Holmes. I studied Ernest Holmes in philosophy. And I said, well, he's like the founder of our teaching. And he's like, really? I didn't know that. So he's the founder of our teaching, and here's what he had to say about this very topic. He says, we are affirming the unity of all life, a unity which includes all variety. Unity passes into variety and multiplicity without division. In each creation, life brings its whole nature to bear upon that individual expression. Thus, every man's life not only has God, but all of God, back of, within, and through him. Take that in. Every person's life has not only God, but all of God expressing through us. So that when we become aware that we are part of the one life and that we have the privilege of expressing it uniquely, we realize that that one life is actually supporting us in doing so. Am I making sense here? That when we recognize that we're part of the one, we soon come to realize that the one is here to allow us to be individual, allowing us to be unique. Because that is the way the one life, and you know when I say one life, I mean capital O and capital L, right? The one life likes to express itself. It expresses itself through variety. Look around the room. Literally, look around the room. Not rhetorical. Each one of us is an expression of the one life. Look at the variety here. Look at the beauty here. This is how God knows itself and expresses and experiences itself. So even as we come together in unity, we all have something special, something unique to add to the mix. It truly is the essence, I love this phrase, of unity passing into variety and multiplicity. So in honor of Canada Day, because that's where we are, I named my talk In Unison, because I wanted to convey this idea about unity and oneness and the sense of belonging. So if you are in music at all, you know that unison is a musical term that means to perform a song at the same pitch. So Amy and I were singing "O Canada" in unison, but I was singing it up here and she was singing it down here. So we were in the same note, we were singing the same notes but in different octaves, so we were singing in unison. That makes sense? Yeah. The Latin word for unison is uni, which means one, and sonus, which means sound, one sound. So when we sing any of our congregational songs, we're not singing them in harmony. We are singing them in unison. We're making the same sound, although all of us are wishing that we sounded like Amy. But the term in unison is also used when talking about agreeing with someone, as in we are in unison on this idea. In other words, we are of one mind, we agree. We share a common idea, a common goal. And it is that feeling of agreement that is so important to many of us because it allows us to not feel as if we're alone. Remember the first time you walked into doors like this and you found this group of people and you realized that you weren't alone in what it is that you believe. That's what I'm talking about. Because almost everybody yearns to be part of something. Whether it's a family or it's a group or it's a community or it's a group of friends. So as much as we are individuals and we like being individuals, most of us feel more whole when we're connected to other people in some way. It's one of the reasons why you all are here on a Sunday morning when you could be sleeping in after a long weekend. Or you show up to the center during the week for classes and for social gatherings. Because here's the truth, folks, and I hope I'm not shooting myself in the foot when I say this, but you can get this teaching from someplace other than Sunday. You know that, right? You can get it on TV, you can get it online, in books, and in CDs. Thanks to Oprah, thanks to Wayne Dyer, who took the teaching and made it mainstream, you can find this teaching of metaphysics anywhere. But what you can't find on TV, online, in books, what you can't find is the sense of community. That sense of belonging that happens when we get together. When we, come on everybody, get together. When we get together for a common purpose or common idea. It's more than just a social opportunity. It's about the energy that gets created. Am I making sense or is this making sense? Yeah. For instance, you know, I probably shouldn't share. I'm sharing all kinds of things with you guys I shouldn't share with you today. I get my best aha moments in the shower. Anybody else? Oh, come on, cop to it. Okay, few people. The clean people. And I get these great aha moments where it's like, wow, and it's great, and I love it. But I kind of like, it stays with me. But when I'm with other people, like in a class or here on Sundays that are also having those aha moments, the energy is palpable. It grows exponentially. Being in a group doing spiritual study or doing something of meaning truly does make a difference. Think about about what happened last month when we all came together for our Sunday celebration at the conference. Many people were here. Those of you who weren't, we hosted a conference last month, and it culminated in our Sunday service at the hotel. And because a lot of us had been, together in this spiritual thing for days, for several days, and then we all came together. It was like 300 people, and it was just this energy that happened at this gathering, something that touched the lives of the people who were there and touched the lives of people who were beyond the confines of the ballroom, just because of the energy that was created. It also means the people who love to gather and come together and celebrate something like Canada Day. It's more than just a time to have a barbecue. It's more than just a time to watch fireworks, although that comes with it, right? We like that. But it is the common bond. It is that shared idea of country founded in the idea and the principle of unity. The Baha'i teaching, Baha'u'llah, I've been practicing, Baha'u'llah, says this is from the Baha'i faith: so powerful is the light of unity that it can illuminate the whole earth. So powerful is the light of unity that it can illuminate the whole earth. Folks, this is something that Canada does really well. If you listen to the news this week, you heard President Obama at the Three Amigos conference earlier in the week, speaking about how welcoming Canadians were to the refugees. And he said the world has been inspired as Canadians across this country have opened up their hearts and their homes. He went on to say, the world needs more Canada. Now, I don't mean that as a political statement, but rather as an illustration about how the light of unity illuminates the world. This country is already doing that. And what makes up that unity are individuals doing their individual thing, expressing their individual uniqueness and consciousness. And without the individuality of life, we would all be automatons doing the same thing as everybody else. We'd look around the room, and instead of seeing the variety and the multiplicity of spirit, we'd see the same thing, and life would not be fully expressed. Unity and variety. Unity and individuality. Ernest Holmes said, if life made you out of itself, which it most certainly did, and if you are an individual just a little different from all other individuals who ever lived, then life not only created you as an independent being, it also implanted a unique something within you. It will never be duplicated. The spirit that accompanies you through your life is just a little different from the spirit of any other person. Not different in that it is isolated, because all are rooted in the one being, but different in that it is individual. So you might be wondering to yourself, well, which one is it? Again, am I supposed to be united and connected to everybody, or am I supposed to be a unique individual? And the answer to that is, oh, that's right. You are paying attention, or else I just gave it right to you. Ideally, what happens is that we bring our best individual selves into community. We offer the unique gifts that we have, and we trust that what we offer is needed. Because the beauty is we are fulfilled by doing what we came here to do, and the greater good is blessed by what it is that we have to offer. Yes? Yeah. Makes sense? So let me go back to the Canadian New Thought Conference for just a second, because it's been on my mind still. We hosted it last week. It was such an illustration of what I'm talking about. For instance, we had on our music team 6 very talented musicians. We had Amy Bishop, we had Amy Steinberg, we had Gary Floyd, we had Oliver, we had Lisa Jacobs on the bass, we had Luis on the percussion, right? Now each one of these people, these musicians, performers, are accustomed to being the center of attention. They're accustomed to expressing their unique selves and kind of being that, right? And yet what happened is that each one of them showed up for that weekend fully offering their gifts and their talents, not for their greater good, but for the good of the conference. In other words, they were in unison, one voice, to provide the absolutely stellar music that we had all weekend. Same thing is true for our workshop leaders. We had 12 different workshops. We had 12 different leaders who brought their uniqueness and their expertise to the program. So we had 12 different people doing their different thing, and yet what got created was this amazing tapestry of wisdom and connection and personal and spiritual growth. And what happened was people went to them, and everybody who was there, just because of the energy that got created from these unique individuals doing something for the common good, was that everybody rose up to the heights of consciousness, both individually and as a group. It was amazing. I could go on. I could talk about the speakers. I could talk about the committee and how we, each of us, brought our individual talents. But what I really want to talk about is that everybody who was there at the conference, everybody who was in attendance, brought something unique and individual to that collective event. Unity into variety, and back again to unity. So as I was prepping this talk, there was a phrase that kept going through my mind, a reading that I often do for my weddings. It's actually from Khalil Gibran, the prophet. And in this particular reading, he's talking about the importance of maintaining our individuality in marriage, because the uniqueness of each individual is essential to the success of the union. And so I thought I would share this with you just because it's so lovely and it really makes the point. This is Khalil Gibran, who wrote, "Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together and be joyous, but each one of you be alone, even as the strings of the lute are alone, though they quiver with the same music."
Nice thought.
Yeah.
So if you learn nothing else today, please take this home with you. That who you are as an individual is important to the whole. You are here to express the divine in your own unique way. Don't try to be someone else. Emerson said that imitation is suicide. Be yourself, because life with a capital L would be incomplete without you giving your gift in your way. Because by giving your gift in your way, you are contributing to the greater good, to the greater unity, to the greater idea. Your individual voice added to all the other individual voices helps us to live in unison. One voice. So I'm going to ask the band to come back up because we're going to do something a little different today. Thought I'd throw in a little bit of a surprise. Do we have Mark? Oh, he's there. Okay, hello there. Okay. So while I was contemplating and percolating on this idea all week long, there was a song that kept going through my mind. Khalil Gibran kept going through my mind, and also this song that was written by Carl Anthony. And it wouldn't leave me. So I asked Amy if she knew it, and she didn't. So I wrote to a minister colleague, musician friend of mine, and he sent me the music right away, and I sent it to Amy, and they've learned this song for us. See how amazing they are? Yeah. So we're going to sing this song together a few times through and just see how it feels. It's called One Family. So are you guys ready to do this? All right. And Amy's going to sing it first, and then we're going to sing it with her in unison. Okay? We are one people living on one planet, joining in one family. We are one. A little bit faster. We are one people living on one planet, joining in one family. We are one. Would you stand up and take somebody's hand? We are one people living on one planet, joining in one family. We are one. We are one people living on one planet, joining in one family. We are one people living on one planet, joining in one family. We are one. We are one people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are So let's just go within for a moment with that beautiful message. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. And with a sense of, for lack of a better word, pride, recognizing that this country, Canada, is at the forefront of this. Open, inclusive, affirming, loving. Because these are attributes of the divine, to be open and loving, to accept, to see the divine in each and every person, including ourselves. And so what I know for each of us is that as we move on for the rest of this day, as we move on for the rest of this week, we remember not only are we in unity with every other living thing, yet we are also individually unique, and that is expressing the one life, the divine. It is expressing God as only we can express God. And God is having that experience as a result of who we are, and what we allow ourselves to bring. And so I give thanks for this truth, knowing that it is truth, knowing that this one people, this one family, this one planet, recognizing that we are one. We are unity going into multiplicity and back to unity. I give thanks for this truth, as together we affirm. And so it is.